Be funny.
Welcome to a Saturday surprise where today I'm playing Dere Quartet, which popped up as the first interesting game when I looked through Steam, and it seems to be kind of a dating sim-esque, but not really a dating sim. It's not listed as that. So it seems safe. Oh, it's so loud.
My heart goes to
Let's give it a start. Let's choose a different name. Obrokta. I was a happy high school boy. I had a nice family home, a nice school, great friends, everything a teenage boy needs. But then, disaster struck. My family moved. I lost my home, my school, my friends. I even lost my hometown and was just dumped into a completely foreign place. What could I do? I had no choice but to bravely face my uncertain future as a transfer student at my new school, Sakura High. I'm totally not over dramatic here. Anyway, the moment I stepped into Sakura High, I felt it. The unmistakable vibe of a fresh start. New teachers, new classmates, so many perfect opportunities to embarrass myself. I looked nervously into my new class. Good morning, students. May I introduce the mysterious transfer student. Please welcome our young star of destiny. I blinked at the overly enthusiastic teacher standing in front of me, her arms wide open as if she were about to announce the winner of a talent show. Thanks. I'm Obrokta. I wrote my name on the blackboard. Great. No misspelling. What a smooth start at Sakura High. Now take your seat and prepare to write your chapter in the Book of Fate. This was going to be a long year. Oh wait. She did not assign me a seat, but I could pick by myself? Wow, what a chance and burden. But where should I sit down? The good seats with the window view were of course all taken, but there were 4 empty tables, each next to a girl. I took a very quick look at my potential neighbors and had the nagging feeling that this would be an ominous decision. Quick, decide before it gets awkward. The first girl with the pink hair seemed kind of quirky and smiled encouragingly at me. The second girl seemed kind of bored and looked mostly away. The third girl resembled a model with her beautiful blonde hair. And the last girl was kind of cute and gave me a friendly smile. We're going to go with pink hair girl. We're going anime-esque in this one. Triple S recruit. Hi there, new guy. Welcome to Sakura High School. She practically sparkled. Her energy was so overwhelming, I half expected her to shoot confetti out of her sleeves. You're my new seatmate, huh? Lucky you. I'm Dekiku, super sweet, super friendly, and your personal guide to the best school in the universe. Best school? It's just a school. Oh, don't give me that look. You're so you're Obrokta-san. You can call me Dekiku-san. Nice to meet you. You look like you'll be fun to hang out with, or at least a decent source of entertainment. She's a human sugar rush. Oh, by the way, have you joined any clubs yet? I've been here for 5 minutes, so no. Perfect. That means you're free. You'll join my club, right? What club is that exactly? The Secret Sakura Society, or Triple S for short. We're dedicated to spreading love, happiness, and maybe a little chaos. Doesn't that sound amazing? That sounds very vaguely ominous. Don't worry, it's totally legit. Mostly. And we desperately need new members, so it's basically fate that you're sitting next to me. Fate, huh? I think fate would prefer I just focus on surviving my first day. Nope, fate says you're helping me. Besides, you look like you could use a little excitement in your life. I'm pretty sure I've got enough excitement just meeting you. She grinned, either oblivious to my sarcasm or deliberately ignoring it. Honestly, it was hard to tell. Great, then it's settled. You're my new recruit. Wait, when did I agree to this? You're going to love it, trust me. Matchmaking people is like the most satisfying thing ever. I just wait until you see a headquarters. Headquarters? Yep, I'll show you after class. Ooh, this is going to be so much fun. Fun for her, maybe. For me, I was starting to think I'd just been kidnapped into some kind of high energy cult. Oh, and don't worry. I'll make sure everyone knows you're my assistant now. You'll be famous in no time. Famous? I'm not sure that's what I want. Oh, don't be shy. With my guidance, you'll be a natural at matchmaking in no time. Now pay attention to the class so you don't embarrass me, okay? I am terribly sorry to interrupt your enthusiastic speak, Deguchi-chan, but you know we have class. So stop talking now. Ah, sorry. And just like that, my first day at Sakura High School had officially taken turn for the weird. Dekiku-san was a force of nature, and I was apparently caught in her whirlwind. Oof. Did I pick the energetic girl or what? Chapter 2, Shipping 101. Oh gosh, why shipping? Oh no. After class, I found myself being dragged down the hall by Dekiku-san. Her energy was unstoppable, like a human freight train made of sunshine. I barely had time to grab my bag before she launched into a full-speed tour of the school, pointing out random things I'd probably never remember. And over there's the library, super boring unless you're into dusty books and a librarian who smells like mothballs. Not great for matchmaking, but so we usually avoid it. I thought this was a tour. Why are we running? Time is love, Obrokta-san. Gotta keep moving. I didn't even know that sentence made sense, but I was too out of breath to argue. Eventually, we came to a stop outside an unassuming door. Dekiku opened it cheerfully. And here it is, the SSS headquarters. This looks like some random room that has been cleaned for a while. What are you waiting for? Come on in. I took a closer look. One wall was plastered with photos, notes, and diagrams that made it look like a detective's office. Only instead of solving crimes, it was solving matters of the heart. Is that string connecting photos? It's a relationship board. We can use it to track all the potential love stories at Sakura High. She said it so proudly, like it wasn't the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. Oh gosh. This is like Toki Literature Club-esque. You look like you're planning a coup, not a couple. Good one, Obrokta-san, but no, this is all about love. Every pair we've ever matched is on this board. Well, except for the ones that didn't work out, but we don't talk about those. Great, so what's your success right there? I couldn't help but notice in a corner of the board marked with a big red X. Decided not to ask. Here, I'll show you how it works. She grabbed a photo of a smiling boy and pinned it next to a picture of a girl who looked vaguely annoyed. These two are perfect for each other. You can just tell by their vibes, you know? And what if they hate each other? Then we fix that, of course. Love is all about overcoming obstacles. Pretty sure love doesn't work like a video game. Well, it should. Anyway, you're officially part of the team now, so get ready to help me spread some love. I don't even know how to start. That's okay. I'll teach you everything you need to know. First rule of matchmaking, always trust in your instincts. Second rule, if they don't like each other, we make them like each other. Sound like a crazy person. Why did I pick her? I was starting to think that Dekiku-san's version of love involved way too much coercion. Still, there was something kind of charming about her passion for it. I'll say, she sounds very much like Cartman in the episode where he was matchmaking Token with the new girl at school that Kyle really liked. She turned to me, hands on her hips, grinning like she just solved world hunger. So what do you think? Pretty amazing, right? What should I say? It's definitely something. I knew you'd love it. Now, let's get started on our next mission. There's a first year who's totally crushing on her second year senpai, and we're gonna make it happen. Shouldn't we, I don't know, ask them first? Where's the fun in that? Come on, Obrokta-san. Time to put that charm of yours to good use. I didn't know what kind of charm she was talking about, but before I could argue, she was already dragging me toward our mission, quote unquote. It was official. My new life at Sakura High wasn't just weird, it was completely and utterly out of control. First mission of madness. Dekiku-san skipped down the hall as I trudged along behind her. She was carrying a clipboard now, though I had no idea where she pulled it from. I wasn't sure if this was going to be fun or an absolute disaster. Probably both. Alright, Obrokta-san, our first target is Fujimoto Kenzo, a first year in the table tennis club with a hopeless crush on the club president, Nagisa-san. And pardon me if I butcher any of these names. Wait, we're really doing this right now? Shouldn't we plan or something? Who needs plans when you have instincts? I already did all the hard work anyway. By hard work, you mean eavesdropping in the cafeteria and stalking Nagisa's Instagram for clues. It's called recon, Obrokta-san. You should try it. No, that's called stalking. I'm not sure stalking counts as recon, but okay. What's the plan, matchmaker extraordinaire? Simple. We casually bump into Kenzo-kun and get him to confess his feelings to Nagisa-san. Easy peasy. Yeah, because confessing your feelings to someone you barely know in the middle of the hallway never goes wrong. Sarcasm won't save you, Obrokta-san. Come on, let's go! We found Kenzo-kan sitting in the cafeteria staring at his lunch like it was the most tragic thing in the world. Dekiku-san gave me a quick thumbs up before striding over to him. Hey there, Kenzo-kan. Mind if we sit here? Kenzo looked up, startled. He had the look of someone who wasn't used to being approached by overly cheerful girls. Poor guy didn't stand a chance. Sure, I guess. Dekiku plopped down across from him, dragging me with her. I could feel his confusion radiating from across the table. So, Kenzo-kan, tell me, how's life? Any crushes you want to talk about? Subtle as a truck gun. What? No, I don't. Oh, come on. You've got to like someone. Spill the beans. I don't know what you're talking about, senpai. You sure about that? Because I happen to know you've been staring at Nagisa-senpai like she's the last piece of cake at a bakery. Kenzo-kun turned red, so red I thought he might combust on the spot. It wasn't. This is so painful to watch. Relax, Kenzo-kun. It's a good thing. You're young, full of feelings, and totally not alone in this. That's why we're here to help. We? Wait, help? What are you talking about? You're in luck, Kenzo-kun. Meet the SSS, your personal matchmaking superheroes. We're gonna get you and Nagisa-san together in no time. Kenzo-kun looked between Dekiku and me like we just declared ourselves royalty. I felt about as out of place as he looked. This has to be a joke, right? No joke. We take love very seriously here at Sakura High. So seriously, in fact, that I've already devised a foolproof plan. Kenzo didn't look reassured. Honestly, neither was I. When she says foolproof, she means chaotic and probably embarrassing. Just a heads up. Don't listen to him. Now, here's the plan. Tomorrow during lunch, you're going to accidentally drop your books right in front of Nagisa. I'll swoop in and make a dramatic introduction, and voila! Conversation started! That's your plan? Isn't it genius? I think you broke him, Dekiku-san. Kenzo buried his face in his hands, clearly regretting every life choice that had led him to this moment. I didn't blame him. Sorry, Kenzo-kun. I can't do that. It's too embarrassing. Well, if you don't, you might never get another chance. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been? Well, she's good at guilt-tripping things. Kenzo groaned but didn't protest further. Dekiku-san took that as a win. Great, it's settled. Operation Love Confession is a go. As we left the cafeteria, Dekiku-san turned to me with a big grin, clearly pleased with herself. See, easy peasy. This is just going to be so much fun, Obrokta-san. You say fun, but I'm pretty sure you're just traumatized the first year. Oh, you'll thank us later. Trust me, maybe we'll even get a wedding invitation. Who knows? I wasn't sure about that, but there was something about Dekiku's infectious optimism that made me want to believe her. Maybe this whole SSS thing wouldn't be so bad after all. Oh, it's gonna be bad. I feel it. To fall is to fall in love. Jesus Christ. The next day, I found myself stationed near the main staircase with Dekiku-san. She had somehow convinced me to supervise her latest operation, though I still wasn't entirely sure why she needed me. Kenzo was nearby clutching his books like they were his lifeline. His nervous glances toward the staircase made it clear he was about 2 seconds away from bolting. Relax, Obrokta-san, everything is under control. Kenzo looks like he's about to pass out. Are you sure this is a good idea? Of course, it's a good idea. All he has to do is drop his books and act flustered. How hard can that be? For someone who's clearly terrified of human interaction, pretty hard. Dekiku-san waved off my concern with a flick of her hand, her confidence unshaken. That's why we're here, to guide him to love. Now, watch and learn. Kenzo shuffled toward the staircase where Nagisa-san was chatting with a friend. His movements were stiff and robotic. Oh, poor Kenzo. He might as well have been controlled by a puppeteer. Whispering, okay, Kenzo-kun, now's your chance. Just drop the books gently and make it look natural. Kenzo's hand trembled as he adjusted his grip on his books for a moment. It looked like he might actually pull it off. And then he tripped over absolutely nothing, sending his books flying in every direction. Oh no! He crashed to the ground, the heap drawing the attention of half the hallway. Poor Kenzo. Oh no! So much for gently. Nagisa, to her credit, walked over to help. Her expression a mix of concern and mild amusement. Are you okay? That looked like a rough fall. Kenzo stared up at her wide-eyed, his mouth moving but no words coming out. He looked like a fish out of water gasping for air. Kenji. Say something, Kenzo-kun. Anything. But Kenzo was frozen like a crashed computer, and the awkward silence stretched on for what felt like an eternity. I think we need a backup plan. Backup plans are for quitters. Dekiku-san suddenly sprang into action, sweeping into the scene with a grace of chaotic whirlwind. Oh my gosh, Kenzo-kun, are you alright? That was such an epic fall. She flashed Nagisa a dazzling smile, completely taking over the situation. Nagisa-san, if you're so kind of helping him, did you know he's a huge fan of yours? He's always saying how amazing you are as a club president. Subtlety, thy name is definitely not Dekiku. Dekiku managed to move away from the scene discreetly. Nagisa blinked, clearly caught off guard, but her cheeks turned a faint shade of pink. Really? That's sweet of you to say. Kenzo, still on the ground, managed a feeble nod, his face glowing like a tomato. Now he's bright red. Isn't it? I think you two would make such a great team. Don't you think so, Obrokta-san? Me? What? Yeah, sure, totally. Nagisa-san looks between Kenzo-kun and Dekiku-san, a small smile playing on her lips. Then she stretched out her hand and helped him stand up again. Well, Kenzo-kun, maybe next time we can talk properly. I have to get to class, but thanks for your kind words. Kenzo managed to at least nod. With that, she walked off. I wasn't sure if he was elated or mortified when he left us without further word. Probably both. See, what did I tell you? We totally nailed it as a team. You mean you swooped in and prevented the worst. Details, details. It worked, didn't it? Do you really think so? Yep. Didn't you see her face? So cute. Love must be wonderful. I shook my head, but had to giggle involuntarily. As much as I hated to admit it, Dekiku-san's enthusiasm was infectious. You're ridiculous, you know that? And you love it. I opened my mouth to reply, but the words stuck in my throat. Did I? Maybe, yes. All I knew is that my life had gotten a whole lot more interesting since Dekiku-san barged into it, and somehow I didn't mind that one bit. As we left the scene of the operation, I couldn't help but wonder what kind of chaos Dekiku-san had in store for me next. Oh my god, this woman's crazy. Operation Bento bonding. Oh my god. Why? Are we bonding over Bento, or are we causing someone else to bond over Bento? It was lunchtime, and I found myself on the school's rooftop. Classic. Dekiku-san had declared her official summer headquarters for the SSS. Kenzo, now marginally less awkward, sat nearby, chewing quietly on his sandwich. Dekiku-san had, as always, had a plan. I had a feeling it involved me this time. Alright team, the next mission is going to be absolutely revolutionary. Are you ready to hear it? Do we have a choice? Nope. Here's the deal. Nagisa-san agreed to a study session with Kenzo-kun tomorrow after school, but we need to make sure they have some bonding time before that. And how exactly do we do that? Easy. We're going to make Kenzo-kun a homemade bento to share with her. It'll be romantic, heartfelt, and impossible to resist. Are you going to make it? Of course. Kenzo-kun can't do it alone. Have you ever seen his cooking skills? He once tried to microwave instant ramen without water. It was an accident. It's true. Why? That's why we're stepping in. Obrokta-san, you'll help me whip up the most amazing bento the school has ever seen. Why do I feel like this is not going to work out? Because you're a pessimist. Now, come on. We've got work to do. Somehow, Dekiku-san managed to drag me to the school's cooking club kitchen after class. The room was spacious and well-equipped, but the sight of Dekiku-san brandishing a knife was less than reassuring. I wouldn't trust her either. Have you ever actually cooked before? How hard can it be? You just chop stuff up, put it together, right? Please tell me you at least know how to use that knife properly. Relax, Obrokta-san. I'm a pro. Just watch. She confidently picked up a cucumber and started slicing, only to send the first piece flying across the room. True master at work. Hey, that was just a warm-up. You handle the rice, I'll take care of the veggies. Against my better judgment, I followed her lead. To my surprise, she actually managed to get the hang of slicing vegetables without chopping off any of her cute fingers. The kitchen also remained miraculously intact. It was oddly fun working alongside her. Dekiku-san's energy was contagious, and I found myself smiling despite the chaos. There, look at this spread. Isn't it amazing? I'll admit, it looks edible, mostly. Rude. This is going to win Nagisa-san's heart for sure. After packing up the bento into a cute box with the little heart-shaped cutouts, we left the kitchen feeling triumphant. As we walked back to the courtyard together, I couldn't help but feel that spending time with Dekiku-san like this was becoming the best part of my day. That shouldn't be. Please, don't fall for it. Well, mission prepared to get ready to go. What did I tell you, Obrokta-san? We make a great team. I guess we do. You only guess. Come on, admit it. I'm the best partner you've ever had. You're the only partner I've ever had at this point. I chuckled a little, but the warmth of her smile made it hard to argue. All right. You're not bad, Dekiku-san. Not bad at all. Her eyes softened for a moment. The playfulness seemed to disappear. I wasn't sure what to make of the sudden change in her expression. Thanks, Obrokta-san. You too. The moment passed as quickly as it came, and she was back to her usual energetic self. All right, let's get out of here before the janitor kicks us out. As we walked home, I found myself wondering how I'd gotten so lucky to end up by Dekiku's side. The SSS might have been her brainchild, but it was starting to feel like our project, and that felt strangely good. Bento confession. Aww. Makes me wonder what the other girls kind of have to deal with this, because if she runs the SSS, if you pick another girl, does she like interfere with you and she like love matches for you? The next day, the courtyard was abuzz with its usual lunchtime energy. Dekiku-san and I found ourselves seated on a bench watching from a distance. As Kenzo nervously approached Nagisa with a bento we painstakingly prepared. This is it, the moment of truth. My genius plan is about to bear fruit, or well, rice and veggies. Genius plan? You mean the one where we barely stopped you from cutting off your fingers? Come on, it wasn't that bad. Now shush, we need to watch. Kenzo hesitated for a moment, fidgeting with the box in his hands. Nagisa looked at him curiously, her head tilted slightly as if trying to decipher his behavior. From our vantage point, we couldn't hear the conversation, but the tension was palpable. Kenzo finally thrust the bento forward, his face redder than a ripe tomato. Oh, he's doing it! Look at him go! I hope the bento tastes as good as it looks, otherwise this is going to end badly. Have a little faith, Obrokta-san. I seasoned the rice with spice of romance. Pretty sure that's not a real seasoning. Nagisa opened the bento, her expression softened as she looked at the carefully arranged food. Kenzo said something, probably an apology for the lopsided heart-shaped omelet. And then, to our amazement, Nagisa smiled. Wait, did she just laugh? She's charmed. My plan has worked. I knew it. To our astonishment, Nagisa gestured for Kenzo to sit next to her. They began eating together, the awkwardness melting away into something much sweeter. Kenzo's bashful grin and Nagisa's gentle smile were undeniable proof. The SSS had struck again. Mission accomplished. I'm a genius, Obrokta-san, admit it. Alright, I'll give you this one, but don't let it get to your head. Too late, I'm already planning my next masterpiece. Of course you are. As the afternoon sun dipped lower, Dekiku-san and I watched as Kenzo and Nagisa walked off together, still chatting and laughing. It was hard not to feel a little proud of our work. See, this is what I do. This is why I do what I do, making people happy. It's the best feeling in the world. There was a sincerity to her voice that caught me off guard. For all her eccentricity, Dekiku-san's heart was always in the right place. Yeah, I guess it is. You've got a talent for it, that's for sure. Oh, thanks, Obrokta-san. You're not so bad yourself, you know. Maybe you've got a future at the SSS after all. Yeah, I'm going to be the new Amor. She laughed, the sound light and infectious, and I couldn't help but smile. Being around Dekiku was chaotic, exhausting, and strangely wonderful. Dance for destiny. The next morning, Dekiku-san was already waiting for me outside the classroom, her eyes practically sparkling with excitement that could only mean one thing: trouble. Good morning, Obrokta-san. Are you ready for today's mission? You mean I don't get even one day off? Exactly, but this one's a little different. It's not matchmaking. Well, not directly. Do I even want to know? The student council is throwing a school-wide party next week. It's supposed to be this huge event to get everyone to relax and have fun. And guess who volunteered to help organize it? Let me guess. You volunteered and somehow I'm included in that package deal? Bingo! You're catching on fast. But here's the twist. The SSS is going to use the event to set up secret rendezvous spots for potential couples. Dance floor, garden, snack table, everywhere. If there's chemistry, we'll nudge them along. So basically, we're turning the wholesome school event into your personal rom-com experiment. Exactly, isn't it great? No, it's not. I just hope that the principal won't hear about this. The old stickler would probably get a heart attack. As the day wore on, Dekiku was the usual whirlwind of energy, dragging me from classroom to classroom to recruit helpers, brainstorm themes, and inspect decorations. We'll need fairy lights, lots of them, and the punch needs to be romantic. Can punch even be romantic? Dekiku-san, I think you're spiraling. Nonsense! This is the ultimate SSS challenge. We'll make it unforgettable. Speaking of which, her eyes locked on me with that mischievous glint that usually meant she was about to volunteer me for something. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Because you're going to be my partner during the party. We need to lead by example, show everyone what a great couple looks like. Yeah, choked. That's for sure. Wait, what? Relax, it's for the mission, unless you're nervous about dancing with me. Her teasing smile was almost enough to make me forget how much trouble she was causing. Almost. Nervous? No, not a chance. Just hope you can keep up. We'll see about that. Now, let's get to work. This girl. For the next couple days, Dekiku-san and I threw ourselves into preparing for the event. The night before the big event, the school gym had been transformed into something straight out of a romance movie. I wasn't sure how she managed to pull it off, but it was hard not to admire her determination. And I had to admit, I was starting to look forward to that dance. As we walked home together, Dekiku-san seemed quieter than usual, her usual energy dimmed by exhaustion. Thanks for helping out today, Obrokta-san. I couldn't have done it without you. Don't sell yourself short. You've got enough energy to power the whole school. Yeah, but even I need a partner sometimes. I'm glad I have you. Her voice softened. For a moment, the chaos of the day faded away. Well, I guess we do make a good team. Come on, admit it, we're unstoppable. I chuckled. Then we said goodnight. What would the next day bring? The dance in the moonlight. Ooh. The night of the party finally arrived. The gym was filled with soft fairy lights, the smell of freshly baked snacks, and the low hum of chatter. The decorations were perfect, and the mood was light. Everyone was dancing and chatting and having fun. I had to admit that Dekiku had outdone herself. But where was she? She had excused herself after everything had been set up and said she would be back soon. She went to go get ready for the dance, my guy. Now I was waiting ready for half an hour, and then I saw her. Aw, she got into a nice dress for you. She had changed for the event into a beautiful dress. I was speechless. Oh, and she put ponytails in. Good for her. Or pigtails in. May I have this dance with you, Obrokta-kun? I felt the blood rush to my face. My throat suddenly felt strangely dry. Yes, of course, please. Dekiku giggled. You like my dress? You look gorgeous. Thank you. There appeared to be a hint of red on her beautiful face. But now comes the hard part. What do you mean? I have to dance, and I need to do it perfectly. Oh, come on. I thought you were confident. Besides, I guess I'm the one who'll be leading anyway. Nervous laugh. Yeah, about that. Dekiku simply grinned and took my hand, pulling me toward the center of the dance floor. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. After all, I haven't been into dancing before, but there was something about the soft music, the dim lighting, and the way Dekiku's hand felt in mine that made me forget about my nervousness. You're not so bad, Obrokta-kun. Well, I took a dancing class once, but to be honest, I can barely keep up with your steps. She twirled gracefully, a perfect picture of confidence and energy. Her laugh filled the space between us, and I couldn't help but smile. As much as I tried to keep my composure, I was beginning to notice how close we were. Her smile, her laughter, the way she looked at me, it was all starting to feel like magic. Dekiku was having the time of her life, but me? I was still struggling to focus on the steps. I was distracted by the way her hand felt in mine, the way her eyes sparkled in the soft light. I was starting to feel something more than just pressure of the dance. I looked at Dekiku, and she looked away for a moment. I felt an unspoken tension between us, and we both knew something, but neither of us was brave enough to say it out loud. It's nice to dance with you, Obrokta-kun. Yeah, I'm happy too. As the final song played, we found ourselves standing in the middle of the gym, everyone else lost in the fading melody. The lights dimmed further, and it felt like the world had shrunk down to just the two of us, but neither of us spoke, and the weight of the moment lingered in the air. I should say something, and I should tell her how I feel, but I don't know what I really feel, and what if she doesn't feel the same? Why can't I just tell him? Why am I so scared? As the song ended, the crowd slowly began to disperse. Dekiku's hand slipped from mine, and the moment was over just like that. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we did this, Obrokta. Yeah, me too. It came out less cheerful than what I wanted, and I couldn't quite tell why. Tomorrow we will still have to do a lot of cleaning up, but tonight we are free, thanks to your great support with the recruiting helpers. She smiled at me, but there was a hint of something unreadable in her expression. She quickly turned away and started heading toward the exit, and I followed without really thinking about it. We left the school, walking home through the night, and before our paths separated, Dekiku paused for a moment, glancing up at the stars. I guess this is where we say goodnight, huh? Yeah, I suppose. No, I don't want to say goodnight yet. What should I do? We stood there in silence for a moment. Neither of us moved. Well, goodnight then, Obrokta. Thanks for the dance. And with that, she gave me one last smile before turning and walking away. I watched her go, my heart pounding in my chest. As I stood there watching Dekiku disappear into the distance, I wondered why she left me so sad. Something inside me screamed at me that I was an idiot and I should tell her that I love her, but there was another part that was more careful. I wasn't sure about my feelings for Dekiku-san, and even more so, I wasn't sure about hers. That was also painfully complicated. If only we had some SSS pushing us to make the same step. However, that wouldn't happen. Dekiku was the only SSS member that was really doing anything. The other members just helped out a bit here and there, but would have never taken the initiative on any couple, and in particular, were not on her and me. On the other hand, being on Dekiku's side was already so nice, so maybe I should be happy with what I had. I looked up at the starry sky. The stars will be the same for many thousands of years. They will patiently wait for the day we will be brave enough, but for right now, I wanted my heart to enjoy the fresh memories of this wonderful evening with Dekiku. The mishaps of matchmaking. Alright, Obrokta, today is a big day. I've got a perfect setup for the two of our classmates. You're going to love it. I wasn't sure if I should be excited or terrified. Dekiku's enthusiasm was bubbling over, and I couldn't help but smile at her infectious energy. Despite all the chaos she tended to bring into our lives, there was something undeniably charming about her unshakable optimism. What's the plan this time? It's going to be a casual bump-in. I've arranged them to cross paths at the perfect moment, and boom, instant chemistry. A planned casual bump-in? This sounds more than self-contradicting. Just trust me, Obrokta. I've done my research. They're perfect for each other. That's reassuring. Before I could protest further, Dekiku grabbed my arm and dragged me toward the spot where the plan would unfold. We hid behind a pillar, peeking around a corner to watch two students, a shy boy and an outgoing girl, approach each other. Okay, it's happening. Now! We watched as the two students walked toward each other right on cue, and then disaster struck. Dekiku aimed to nudge the boy at the girl, and the girl closer by accidentally bumping into one of them. Unfortunately, she was a little too enthusiastic. She misjudged the timing, and instead of a gentle nudge, she shoved him directly into the girl. Both of them lost their balance completely, and with a spectacular splash, they tumbled straight into the school fountain. Oh no, that wasn't supposed to happen. Did she really just do that? Sure she did. Oh, Christ. So upset. The two students emerged from the fountain completely soaked and dripping wet, looking utterly embarrassed as they sputtered in confusion. Dekiku's face turned bright red as she rushed over to help them, but there was nothing she could do to salvage the situation. She just stood there and apologized profusely. I swear that was not part of the plan. Are you guys okay? It feels so bad for them. And Dekiku-san too. This is a complete failure. The two students nodded, looked at each other in bewilderment before they awkwardly walked away, both drenched but seemingly too polite or shocked to say anything. Dekiku looked at them with a sheepish grin, trying to downplay what had just happened. Well, at least they're talking now? I mean, that's a start. They didn't talk at all. They actually walked off in opposite directions. You know you have a special talent for making things memorable. Dekiku giggled. Hey, it's all part of the plan. The more unexpected, the better. I shook my head, still trying to process what just happened, but Dekiku didn't seem discouraged. If anything, she was more determined than ever. What's next? Another perfect setup? Oh, you know it. We've got so much matchmaking to do today, Obrokta. And if one didn't work out, then the next will for sure. I couldn't decide whether to be worried or impressed. We walked to the next spot, Dekiku bubbling with excitement, and I found myself oddly looking forward to whatever chaos would come next. Because despite everything, it was hard not to be charmed by her energy. She had this way of making even the most embarrassing situations feel like a step towards something great. Maybe it was the way she never gave up, or maybe it was just how easy it was to smile when she was around. Match made in heaven, ? Alright, Obrokta, here you go. This is the perfect match. Jun-san and Yuna-san. Yuna-san is the vice president of the student council, and Jun-san is her classmate. Don't look, take a look at them. I was beginning to get nervous every time she talked about perfect matches. Dekiku practically glowing with excitement after the fountain fiasco. She hadn't lost an ounce of confidence. She was already set up for her next match. Are you sure about this one? I mean, they seem pretty close already. Exactly. And that's why it's perfect. Look how well they get along. They even finish each other's sentences. I glanced at the two students she had in mind, a boy and a girl sitting next together in the library, laughing and sharing a textbook. They did seem like the perfect couple. There was a mutual understanding, their chatting was in perfect sync, and they even looked a bit similar. I don't know, Dekiku-san, maybe you're right, but you sure that they aren't going out yet? Nope. I got intel about both being single still. Sure they're not brother and sister? I took another look at Jin and Yuna. But don't you think they're already close? Exactly. They just need a little push to realize they're the perfect pair for each other. I don't know why, but I somehow had a bad feeling about this, but I didn't want to be a buzzkill. Dekiku is already marching ahead, full of determination. I followed, and Dekiku, with her usual enthusiasm, went straight to work. Hey, you two are like totally meant for each other, right? I can tell you're so in sync. You should totally go out. No, here it comes. The boy and girl stopped mid-laugh, both looking at Dekiku in complete confusion. They exchanged glances. I could feel the tension building. What do you mean? Yeah, I want to know. Why on earth would you think that? Oh, come on. You're always together. You finish each other's sentences. You even share a textbook. It's so obvious that you two should be dating. The boy and girl looked at each other for a moment before the girl sighed and spoke up. We are together, but just not in that way. We're siblings. I knew it. Wait, what? There was a brief silence. Dekiku blinked twice, trying to process what she had just heard. I was equally stunned, unable to comprehend how Dekiku had missed something so crucial. We're siblings. You didn't even notice that? It's honestly kind of gross that you thought we were a couple. Dekiku's face went pale, and I could see the realization dawning on her. The situation was getting more awkward by the second. But you've never called each other brother or sister. Yeah, because we are in the same class and don't want our classmates to feel we are special. But everyone knows, of course, that we're siblings, so how dare you suggest something like that? But you seem like such a perfect match. You are so in sync, and oh no. The girl's eyes narrowed and clearly irritated. You trying to set us up as a couple and we're siblings? Do you think that's funny? You're the worst. Honestly, you should just leave us alone. Dekiku stood there frozen in place. Oh god, she's turning into a ghost. She's fading away. Her smile completely gone. She didn't know how to apologize or even what to say. The situation had spiraled so far out of control. I can't believe this is happening. How could she have not known? This was so awkward. What should I do? The siblings stormed off, their expressions furious, and Dekiku stood there speechless. I could see the disappointment in her eyes, and I felt awful for her. She had been so enthusiastic about helping people, and now this was the second time her plans had gone horribly wrong. Dekiku slowly turned toward me, looking utterly defeated. I messed up again. How could I have not known they were siblings? I didn't even check their family names. Dekiku-san, you were just trying to help. It's not your fault. But they were so close. How did I not see that? I thought I was so sure this time. I wanted to cheer her up, but I wasn't sure how. Seeing Dekiku so down and was hard. She was always so bright and full of energy, and now she looked completely defeated. The next day, however, things got even worse. As Dekiku was pacing around the hallway, coming up with new matchmaking ideas, a group of student council members appeared in front of her. The vice president was leading them. Dekiku, I need you to talk to you. We have received several complaints from student body. Apparently your matchmaking has been causing quite a bit of disruption. Oh no, you mean what happened yesterday? I've already said I'm really sorry. I'm not talking about yesterday. Your antics have crossed the line. You've been pushing people into situations they're not comfortable with, and sometimes also into fountains. And all of this is causing a lot of embarrassment. The council has decided that the SSS must be dissolved effective immediately. Dekiku's face turned pale as she listened to the vice president's words. It felt like the world was crumbling around her. I could see the devastation in her eyes. Well, what? You can't. I was just trying to help. The vice president's expression stayed hard. You might have meant well, but you've disrupted the harmony of the school. The SSS has to go. Dekiku's shoulders slumped as the council members walked away, leaving her standing there, lost in thought. The weight of the news hit her hard, and we could see her trying to hold back tears. I couldn't stand seeing her like this. She worked so hard to make everyone happy. I tried to comfort her, obviously. Who wouldn't try to comfort her? I put my hand on her shoulder. Oh, Dekiku-san. She turned to me and leaned on my shoulder. It's so unfair. I petted her gently and wiped away her tears. Slowly, she calmed down. Dekiku-san, I know this sucks, but you're not alone. You still got me, right? Dekiku looked up, trying to smile. You really think so? After all this? Of course. You don't have to give up just because things didn't go as planned. You've helped so many people already. Maybe the SSS didn't work out, but we can still make a difference. Dekiku nodded slowly. You're right, Obrokta. I guess I still have a lot to do. Hey, how about we team up and help the upcoming school festival? We can do something fun and positive together without all the pressure of matchmaking. That sounds like a good idea. A new start, huh? Thank you, Obrokta. I don't know what I would do without you. I smiled, relieved to see Dekiku's spirits lifted a little. And as long as we were together, I was happy. It's going a lot longer than I thought. Oh my goodness. The school festival was in full swing, and Dekiku and I had been working nonstop. Despite the setbacks from the SSS's dissolution, we were highly motivated to help making the festival a success. We had spent most of the week preparing, from the decorations to organizing activities. Every time I turned around, Dekiku had her usual energy and enthusiasm, running from one task to another with a grin that seemed like it couldn't possibly fade. But there were times when I'd catch her staring off just for a moment, as if something was on her mind. Look at this! The festival is such a huge hit. Everyone's having a great time. We had a blast together during the event, laughing, working side by side, and sharing stories. We ended up doing all kinds of odd jobs, helping out here and there. And of course, there were the ridiculous moments, like when Dekiku made an impromptu matchmaking suggestion about two other helpers right in the middle of a crowded hallway. I guess there will always be a little bit of the SSS left in her, even if it's not official anymore. Despite the chaos, there was something calming about spending so much time with Dekiku. Her infectious optimism had a way of making even the busiest day feel a little bit brighter. So, Obrokta, have I told you how much I appreciate you? Your idea to help with the festival is so great. It's so much fun. I was sure that you would enjoy it. You love to make people happy. Dekiku smiled widely, brushing a stray lock of hair behind her ear, her eyes sparkling. Well, I had a lot of fun doing it, you know. The reason I started the SSS was because I hated seeing people lonely or unhappy. I wanted to do something for them. Make sure they found happiness, even if it meant embarrassing myself sometimes. That's Dekiku-san for you. Always thinking about everyone else. But I wonder, what about her? Did she ever worry about being alone? I wanted to ask her about it, but before I could, Yukiko bounced over to the next booth to talk to another student. As usual, she was the center of attention, effortlessly brightening up everyone's day. As the festival began to wind down, the final event of the night was the closing dance. Students gathered in the main courtyard, eagerly waiting their turn to dance with their friends. The music started, and the night sky was lit up brilliantly warm light of a large bonfire. The atmosphere was light and joyful, with couples swaying to the music, everyone caught up in the energy of the evening. I looked around and my heart sank when I saw Dekiku standing by herself, watching the dancers with a wistful expression. I hesitated. I saw her smile slowly fading as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. She wasn't really alone, but something about the way she stood there made it clear that she was feeling so. The upbeat energy she usually carried was gone, replaced by the quiet sadness that didn't quite fit with her usual persona. I took a deep breath and I walked up to her, my heart pounding in my chest. She didn't notice me at first, but when I stood beside her, she turned toward me, her expression surprised. Dekiku-chan, would you like to dance like last time? Dekiko's eyes widened and a soft blush crept up her cheeks as she processed what I said. You want to dance with me? Like last time? A huge grin spread across Dekiko's face and her eyes lighting up with joy. I couldn't help but feel my own heart flutter. Of course, I'd love to dance with you, Obrokta-kun. Without wasting another moment, she took my hand, and as we started to sway to the music, I realized how much I had been hoping for this moment. How much I wanted to be close to her again, to see that bright smile and to feel like I was really with her. We danced, just the two of us, lost in the moment. It was so much smoother than our first dance. Dekiko's laughter echoed in my ears, and for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel nervous or uncertain. You know, Obrokta-kun, I'm really glad you're here. I think you make everything feel so much brighter. You're the one who brightens everything. I never enjoyed school as much as with you. Oh, God, so sappy. The song came to an end, but neither of us moved. We stood there, still holding each other. The music faded out, but the warmth of the moment lingering. We smiled at each other, both of us sharing the same sense of quiet happiness. It wasn't just the music or the dance that had brought us together. It was everything we had shared. Every laugh, every silly mistake, every quiet moment of understanding. And this time, I wasn't going to let the moment slip away. I took a deep breath, gathering every ounce of courage I had, and looked directly at her. At the same moment, she lifted her head and locked eyes with me. You're a wonderful girl, and you make everyone around you happy, or at least you try. But I'd rather make you happy than anyone else at the school. Dekiku froze for a moment, stunned. Her eyes widened in surprise, and then, in typical Dekiku fashion, she quickly recovered a playful grin tugging at her lips. What? Stealing my job? You're trying to make people happy is my thing. I didn't think it was possible, but her grin made my heart skip a beat. Her expression softened again, and she looked at me, eyes filled with warmth. But I guess maybe I feel the same way. I've been so focused on helping others that I didn't realize how much I wanted to be happy with you. We stood there for a while, smiling at each other. Aww. And then in the moment of unspoken agreement, we both leaned in at the same time. Our lips met, awkward at first, but sweet and tender, and a little bit clumsy. It was perfect. How adorable. The ultimate ship. Great. The next day, Dekiku stood in front of the class, hands on her hips, looking more proud than I had ever seen her. I had no idea what she was about to do, but I had a sinking feeling in my stomach. Attention, everyone. I have an important announcement to make. I didn't like the sound of that, or did I? Dekiku beamed at the class, clearly gearing up to say something that was going to make me regret everything. From this day forward, I'm proud to announce that Obrokta-kun and I are officially Sakura High's ultimate ship. I froze, my face going redder than a tomato. Of course, Dekiku would do this. The girl who was always bursting with energy trying to match everyone in the school. And now, it was me. And her. Oh no. No, not this. I'm going to die of embarrassment. The class erupted into laughter and cheers from students giving us thumbs up. Others whispering among themselves about how cute we were. I could feel my face burning hotter with every passing second. It didn't help that after a few moments, our classmates even started to clap hands, and that in the middle of the applause, Hina Sensei came in and wanted to know what happened. But through it all, I was watching Dekiku. She looked at me and her smile was the biggest I'd ever seen. And it was genuine, full of warmth and happiness. Even though a moment ago I wanted to crawl into a hole and disappear, seeing her like that made it worth it. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and despite my cringing, I couldn't help but smile back. You didn't really have to announce it to the whole class, Dekiku-san. Oh, come on. It's the truth. We're the perfect couple, right? You can't deny it, Obrokta-kun. Maybe I can't, but you're definitely going to be the end of me. The rest of the day went by in a blur, but as soon as the bell rang, Dekiku and I slipped out of the classroom together, her hand finding mine almost instinctively. We had returned to our usual chaotic selves, but now we were also Sakura High's ultimate shit. From then on, we continued our work in the secret Sakura Society, though now, of course, really in secret, and as partners in more ways than one. Our matchmaking schemes continue, but if our plans were ridiculous and hilariously doomed to fail half the time. Whether it was setting up surprise confessions, trying to match the school's most oblivious couple, or more often than not, accidentally causing complete chaos, Dekiku and I were always by each other's side. And through it all, I couldn't help but realize that in the middle of all the chaos that I was where I wanted to be, with Dekiku, and I didn't mind the madness a single bit. Our antics only grew more ridiculous with time, but as we left together, I found myself falling for her more every day. She was everything I'd ever known I needed. Her energy, her kindness, and that unstoppable drive to make everyone around her happy. And now it wasn't just about making the world a better place for others, it was about making it better for us as well. I wasn't sure what the future held, but there was one thing I knew for sure. With Dekiku by my side, everything was going to be alright. And with that, we walked into the next chapter of our lives together, the two of us partners in crime and in love. Several years later, Dekiku and I were sitting on the couch in our cozy living room. The soft afternoon light filtered through the windows, casting a warm glow over everything. Across from us, our daughter Sakura-chan, we got married and had a kid, sat across-legged on the floor, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Mom, Dad, how did you two meet? Dekiku and I exchanged a glance, faced with a surprise to the question of our curious girl. Dekiku gave me a knowing smile, the same smile she gave me so many times over the years. Well, it all started when I transferred to Sakura High and got placed in a seat next to your mom. Our daughter's eyes widened with interest. She jumped up and sat next to us on the sofa, afraid to miss out on any detail from our story. You were sitting next to each other? That's so romantic. Dekiku laughed. It wasn't exactly romantic at first. I had other plans. Oh yeah, your mom was the president of the Secret Sakura Society back then. She was more focused on matchmaking than anything else. Sakura-chan giggled. That's totally mom. What can I say? I wanted to make everyone happy. We all laughed, remembering those chaotic but unforgivable days. But what if you hadn't been seated next to mom? What if you sat next to another girl? Would you have fallen in love with each other instead? For a moment, the room fell silent. I looked at Dekiku, and she looked back at me at the same sparkle in her eyes, the one that had caught me off guard so many times. No, Sakura-chan, I would have fallen in love with your mom no matter where I sat. Dekiku blushed, her hand reaching for mine, squeezing it gently. You're such a sweetheart, Obrokta. Sakura-chan was grinning mischievously. But if you had been seated next to someone else, maybe mom would have tried to match you with that girl instead. Dekiku and I burst into laughter, the kind of laughter that only comes from years of shared memories and love. Knowing your mom, she probably would have, but I still would have ended up with her in the end. Dekiku beamed. Because some things are just meant to be. Our daughter giggled, and we all leaned into each other, a perfect picture of life we had built together. No more what ifs, just us in the love that had started with a single seat assignment in the classroom at Sakura High. And as we sat there laughing and reminiscing, I knew, just like I had known back then, that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Good ending. Dekiku, my little cupid. There are 4 endings in total. If you get them, you will get a special present. That was Dere Quartet. That was just Dekiku's story. There are 3 other stories. I wonder if you end up with Dekiku in all of them, knowing how that ended and what they said. If you thought it was kind of funny and cute, give it a look at. It's free on Steam. This has been a Saturday Surprise with Obrokta. Get happy, be funny. Peace.